For Russia, and in goal the mighty Rudakov. Number 2 is Oshlovsky. Number 3 Hurtzilava. Number 4 Lovchev. Number 5 Kaplichny. Number 6 Kuznetsov. Number 7 Mунтян. Number 8 Papayayev. Number 9 Андреасян. Number 10 Onishenko, and number 11 Blochin. And now the England side. Well, there are two changes from the team that were beaten in Poland. Out are Colin Bell and Alan Ball, and in come Mike Shannon and Tony Curry getting his second cap. But now let's away to Moscow, to the Lenin Stadium, for the national anthems and then commentary from Brian Moore.
Well, we get underway then. The referee is Herr Radel for East Germany, and England in the white shirts and black shorts defending the goal to our right. Russia in their famous red with white shorts and red stockings. Blochin couldn't quite keep that in, so England get a throw. That's Rudakov, the big, tall Russian goalkeeper. Curry coming in hard on his man again. Curry, of course, penalised there, but I would think it's a fair gamble that Sir Alf Ramsey might well be grooming Tony Curry to take Alan Ball's place in the next World Cup game, the vital one against Poland, because of course it's likely that Ball will be suspended, having been sent off in Katowice on Wednesday. The Russians again now through Papayev. And my goodness, Shilton only just had time to get in from that back pass from Martin Peters before Onishenko was on him. Shannon back for Maidley. Crossed in again there. Rudakov is again there, and Rudakov very nearly made a serious mistake there, but the throw finds Onishenko. Good little play there by Emlyn Hughes, and the pass that finds Clark. Clark now with Peters away on the left for him. Here's Peters. Chivers in the middle, and Shannon's coming in fast as well. Hughes going down the line for him. Chivers back for Peters again. That's better by England, and a shot by Peters and score. 5 minutes gone, no score. And in fact we saw once or twice. Again it'll be Martin Chivers. Again Peters making that run towards the near post, and will he get there before Rudakov? Well, the Russians are there in any case. Curry now trying to get the header in, but quite clearly out-jumped by the Russian defender. Papayev to Onishenko, and he's gone past Maidley beautifully, but again reading it well was Roy McFarlane for England. And good play by McFarlane. Had a lot of injury after the World Cup, Mунтян, but now he's found Hurtzilava. That's a good raking shot by Hurtzilava. Well, he loves to come forward in the Beckenbauer style, so they say here in Russia. And we saw it once or twice against West Germany last season. And here he picks up this ball with a lot of space. A good raking shot, but we'll see just how much off the mark he was. Going away all the time. Hurtzilava. And a free kick to Russia. Twice coming away with it, but now Storm. Now it'll come to Shannon. Martin Chivers. The goal to England. So sorely wanted. With just 10 minutes gone. Just picking it wide of Rudakov. Chivers was always just onside, and the defender fell. A nice little flick wide of Rudakov. 1-0 to England. Tremendous heat that we've got here. Shannon back again to Maidley, but really just the breakthrough that England wanted to lift their spirits, which rightly gave the Russians the free kick. Hurtzilava, a little toe poke there to Papayev. Hurtzilava again, a little flick through. Towards Andreasyan, and here's the chance now, and a great save by Shilton from Onishenko. Shilton coming off his line so quickly from the number 10 Onishenko. With Clark laying it on for Curry. This time Shannon's making the run, and Shannon got ahead to it first. And away come the Russians again. And again it's Andreasyan, and now it's with Blochin. I'm not sure whether he got a hand to it, but that was dangerously close to the far post for him. Didn't quite get the touch, but a lovely piece of play again by the Russians with his fellow Blochin coming right in. That little flick with the outside of the boot. But now Muntyan getting it away as the Russians come now to Onishenko. On to Blochin. England with 5 defenders back. Very quickly indeed. Still Blochin though. Gone past Madeley, and he's crossed it, but there's McFarland. Way past Mунтян, and now with Story to Clark. Just on the edge of this Russian penalty area. It's with Big Shannon, and now with Tony Curry waiting to go. Curry's cross, and Clark couldn't quite get to it. Not quite used to this tremendous heat here. But the Russians coming on again. There was a deflection. Now can Blochin turn that in? Wildly wide. That was an unlucky deflection for England, and it might have left Peter Shilton a bit exposed. Because as that shot came in fact it burst off Tony Curry. And Blochin, he had to take it quickly, but he snatched it wide. The throw to Russia. Mунтян number 7 with it. Kuznetsov. Crossed there again to the fullback. Trying the shot just over from Olshansky. So I had a feeling there was deflection on the way. This Russian fullback. A shot there that may just have deflected, but obviously couldn't have done. Gave it to Mунтян. Blochin's away on there. Kuznetsov too. Here's Blochin. The shot charged down though by the England defence coming out quickly. And here's Mунтян again. Played this time towards Onishenko, and Clark coming in there. Kuznetsov with a shot that is again charged down. Peters for England getting it away now. Another goal in the bank for England would be so priceless. Here's Shannon again. Well, he's keeping going, Mickey Shannon. And he hits the post! Well, I've never seen such a casual defence as the Russians there, and it's not away yet. But the linesman was flagging, so the second attempt wouldn't have counted in any case. But just look at that, how close England were to that second goal. The Russians all over the place. Kuznetsov, who always seems to be available just outside that area. Hurtzilava again. Again that long raking shot, and Bobby Moore killing it. Story is right up in the attack as well. Still with Madeley, still with Paul Madeley. That's the shot by Madeley, but he's wide. It took an awful lot of effort, but Peters has gone on the outside. But now Kuznetsov. Again more casual play in the Russian defence, and now Tony Curry. Still with Curry, and incredible again, the Russians were standing there looking. And Tony Curry can hardly believe how he missed that one. Just look, not so much at Curry, but just look how the Russians are looking and waiting around. One man taking him, and 2 men hardly filling in behind him. And gave England the uplift that they so badly needed in this terrible heat, and after the bad results behind them. We'll be back with the second half in a couple of... Well, that's one of the Russian substitutes on, number 13, Fedotov, as we welcome you back to the Lenin Stadium in Moscow, with England leading by a goal to nil. In fact, the Russians have brought 2 substitutes on, number 13, Fedotov, who you've already seen, and number 15... And now here's a good chance for England. There are 3 men up and there are only 2 Russians back. That's the ball for Shannon, and he could never have been offside. But the East German lining up pace as he goes along the shaded area of the Lenin Stadium. And here's Bobby Moore. Curry thought about the back pass, but the way was barred. A long ball again. Very accurately played once more by Tony Curry, having a very good game indeed. Clark finding Shannon, and still it's Mick Shannon going on. Here's a great chance for Shannon. Here's a great chance. Oh, and he just couldn't get it in the end. And the Russians, 3 of them, pounced on Mick Shannon. Played nicely there by Curry for Shannon, but a good tackle by Hurtzilava for England. McFarland is right in there, and he's got the header! Just chipped over by Rudakov, where McFarland is always dangerous. A good header by him, and the big man just turning it over. Hit lower this time towards Barney. Peter Hurtzilava goal! It had to be an own goal by Hurtzilava, but it's a priceless one for England. Here's the corner by Mickey Shannon. And Hurtzilava trying to breast it back. And Rudakov away off that near post. And a simple goal that gives England a 2-0 lead. So that's the lead that England have really fought for. Good one, such a morale booster. The 2-0 scoreline we see there to take to the next match against Italy in Turin. They're coming to the game with Chivers this time, trying to get a 1-2 going towards Mick Shannon. But Russia now with Lovchev. The long ball forward to Blochin. This time it's Shannon. England taking up some very promising positions in attack, looking very lively and confident now. And here's Shannon again. The chip there, he tried to get it across to Clark. Forward this time, and it's Olshansky. Fedotov to Olshansky. Still the big fullback, Olshansky, and he's given a penalty. He's given a penalty to Russia, although it looks a bit like a fall by the big Russian fullback. The East German referee, Herr Redl, has given a penalty to Russia, which, if they take it and score from it, surely is going to open it up. Now, who's going to have this responsibility? It looks a bit like Mунтян. Mунtyan then is going to take the penalty, the World Cup player that we saw in Mexico, with a vital kick that might get Russia back in the game, with 20 minutes of the second half gone. And it's there, and that is 2-1. Complaining that there was a Russian player well inside the area, but that shot was well out of the reach of Chilton. And Russia now, Mунтян, the man who has scored, from the penalty. So Shannon off, Summer beyond, and Russia now beginning to pick it up through Blochin. Can England hold them out? There's Bailey desperately trying to stay with Blochin, and he's put across there, and somehow Hughes got a foot to it and got it away. And Hughes got a head to it and got it away. There's a shot there and a fine save. Oh, and a marvellous save by Peter Shilton as Blochin came in. Tremendous shot in the first place by Fedotov. And Shilton, that was a great volley, and Shilton did well enough, but just look at that as a despairing push away. Good pieces of defensive work by Emlyn Hughes just after that penalty put Russia back in it. Getting a 1-2 going with Malcolm MacDonald, and still it's Emlyn Hughes, and that's a good cross by him and a good catch by Rudakov. And now this looks dangerous, but Kozlov missed it completely. Curry wanting somebody to come closer. That's a good ball again by Curry to Chivers. And now for Malcolm MacDonald on the left boot, and he's onside. And that was a tremendous shot by MacDonald. He really got clear of that defence again. And whack. Beautifully on target, but a good save. And now it's Russia again, and this is just wide. Substitute has been a constant source of worry, but now Curry for England, taking it up with a lot of space. Summerby playing wide again, trying to stretch these Russian defenders as far across the width of the pitch as possible. It's Summerby again. The low cross, gobbled up though by Lovchuk. The Russians now really piling men forward. Oh, that's a good place by Blocking. Stole a fantastic dummy there. That's Blocking. Here he is now in action again. A great dummy that he sells on. There it is, on Madeley, giving himself that yard of space. Still Chivers. Can he let one fly? He can, but it's straight at Rudakov. To Mунтян, who really has begun to make his presence felt in the middle of the field, and now it's Vazanin. This time for the number 13 with a shot, and Shilton, and it was bouncing awkwardly. That shot from Fedotov. The long header that's nodded away by... Finding it hard to get round Lowchev. And in fact he must have been niggling just a little too hard in the back on this Russian man in the back four. I think he's saying he was pulling the shirt. That's Lowchev, so it's a free kick to Russia. Bobby Moore again in first for England. Hurtzilava. Kozlov. And here's Mунтян popping up again on the left wing. A little pass for Blochin. This is dangerous. Blochin. Yes. Stuck away. No. Offside. Offside. No goal given. Because although Blochin did superbly well, and it was Kozlov who poked it in. Kozlov was standing in an offside position, and so England are safe. Though. Well, he's got past that challenge and he might get the shot in, but it's too high. Once more, it's the welcoming sight of Martin Chivers taking on a defence. But straight to a Russian, and it's Vazanin again taking it up for them. And now, once more, the dangerous Blochin, and England look a bit stretched. Good challenge, though, by the England defence, by Roy McFarland once more. Hunter going in, so too is McFarland. But the Russians kept possession again. Played deep this time for Mунтян. Blochin down and injured. Some hieroglyphics there that don't mean too much to me. And just wide of that far post. So the Russians, very sporadic raids that they are setting up now, but like this one here, they can look very dangerous, particularly down the flanks, particularly with Blochin. But that shot wide of Shilton and wide. Played back for Story. Moore is behind him. It's not a time for tricks, though. And Moore plays the straight ball for Madeley. And there goes the final whistle. Bobby Moore, the last kick of the match. It is 106th cap for England, equaling the record of Bobby Charlton, beating the 105 of Billy Wright, and takes England to a 2-1 victory.